Y'all, what God has for you will not miss you. Let me sit down and give this message. Okay, so I was in Genesis 31. Yes, I was in Genesis 31. If you have not done your Bible study, I got you. So I was in Genesis 31 and reading about Jacob. And Jacob is the son of Isaac, who is the son of Abraham, right? So what happened, and just to give you a brief little overview, is Jacob had gone and met with Laban. I might be pronouncing Laban, you get the point. But and was like, I was really loved Rachel, and was like, okay, so I work for you for 7 years to get Rachel. Well, Laban gives him Leah, and he's like, I wanted Rachel. So Laban kind of tricks him. So he works another 7 years to get Rachel. So he has Leah and Rachel. So it goes on and on, right? So long story short, what happens is eventually he's like, okay, Laban is treating me differently. He's changed my wages 10 times, right? But God, and he even says, and he's talking to Leah and Rachel about this, and he even says, but God will not allow harm to come to me. In fact, what happens is eventually, Laban says, okay, your wages is going to be the speckled sheep. Every single sheep that was born was speckled, if he said that. So then if Laban said, okay, you're going to have all the spotted sheep. Every single sheep that was born was spotted. So despite Laban's attempts to interfere, to take things away from Jacob, because Laban had a problem because he noticed how many blessings that Jacob kept getting, right? And Laban was even blessed just by association with Jacob. And somehow that turned into almost envy and contempt, right? And so he almost started trying to withhold things from Jacob, but God. So at each turn, you can see that God had Jacob's back, and God was truly holding Jacob. So in life, anytime, right? Like what we have to realize is this: like, people cannot interfere with what God has for you. The only person that can get in the way of what God has for you in your life, your purpose, your destiny, is you, right? Many times you have to make decisions not based on insecurity or fear or people, and that requires you stepping into kind of that supernatural power, because in our flesh we are unable to do that. We have to count on the power of God, and that's kind of spiritual power to kind of rise above that, and that's really truly a fruit of the Spirit to be able to do that, right? Same thing, people talk about kindness and things like that. But the point here is, like, if God has something for you, like, you're the only one that can get in your way. People can't stop it. Like, even if people try to stop it, God has us in the palm of his hands, and he's molding, he's shaping, he's protecting us. At the end of the day, what he has for you is for you. Not a single person can stop that. That's just reality. Later on, if you continue in Genesis, you see Jacob's son Joseph, his brothers sell him into slavery, right? But what happens? Joseph gets imprisoned, all these things, but then eventually Joseph rises to become a prominent figure that's really helping people through a really tough time and famine and things like that in Egypt, right? And he's right next to Pharaoh, like Pharaoh's right-hand man. So he's still elevated despite the fact that his brothers tried to thwart that plan that God had for him. What God has for us, like, is for us. Like, no one can stop it. Nothing can stop it. The only person that can stop it is us, right? And we just have to trust, even though the process can be painful, right? Remember, despite Jesus knowing that he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, he still wept. You can still express pain as part of the process. Jesus expressed pain as part of the process, even though he knew the outcome. We can still express pain as part of the process, but don't let that stop you, right? Like, keep your eyes ahead and know that God will place the people, the things in your path to help you succeed, but you have to trust him. You have to have faith. And remember, what God has for you is for you, right? And each one of us, when we're born, there's like this master plan that God has for us, and we're the only ones that can stop it. All right, y'all, that is today's Faith Friday.